Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Take Off Podcast. I'm Coach Aguilar, faced by Jose.
What's up, everybody?
Episode 11.
Episode
Episode
11.
11
We
in.
made it to the double digits.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Whoa.
sir.
The second double digits.
So, yeah, before we get into the pod, man, we got good stuff talking about. Let's mention the giveaway real quick. We mentioned last pod that we have a new giveaway for 4th of July. We got two gift cards coming out. One for Dick's Sporting Goods, $50, and one for Academy, $50. Take it away.
Like we mentioned before, just all you have to do is like the post, follow our YouTube, our social medias, our Instagram, and our TikTok, and tag 3 people, and then you could win an Academy or Dick's gift card. Thank y'all, everyone.
Yes. So, man, let's just jump right into it, man. I think last pod we started talking about graduation time, summer vacations time, prom poses, and all that.
Yeah.
And I think we want to, piggyback off of the little promposal stuff and get into the conversations of young Latino gentlemen.
Okay, yeah. I mean, both of us are Latino, and we're both gentlemen. Also, we were also at that one age where, hey, we gotta ask that girl to prom, or whether it's on a date or whatever it is, right? I guess what's expected, man? Like, what's expected? Like, like so many questions, so many. There's two type of guys. There's that one confident guy. There's a play it smooth type of, and then there's that one nervous guy that's gonna be like, how should I go up to her? How should I?
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Now that I'm older.
Yeah.
The expectations when we're that age, teenagers, prom time, and all that stuff in middle school, high school, we put so much pressure on ourselves that sometimes it's just about try. I mean, what could go wrong?
What's the worst that she can say? No,
You're never gonna get a yes if
it's like
you don't never ask.
You're gonna strike out or te van a ponchar.
You don't swing the bat.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think when it comes to some Hispanic young man, we talk about the mental stuff all the time, the self-belief. You gotta have a little bit of confidence, man. Sometimes you gotta just walk to that young lady, head up high, chest out, go up there and firmly, hey, and ask her, hey, would you like to go to prom with me, or would you like to go on a date with me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's about self-confidence, having that confidence, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think us, voicing that to those young men, man. I mean, honestly, like I said, that's really the biggest battle, man. Because most guys won't try. Most young men won't try.
Yeah.
They overthink. Oh, she likes me, she's gonna say no, or
she don't like me, she's gonna say no.
Or we go to the baile. I don't know. I don't want to get rejected. She's gonna say no. I don't want to dance.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, not everybody's gonna say yes. But I promise you, there's gonna be that one or two young ladies gonna say. I mean, tell you yes. So I think it starts with confidence. What about you? What do you think?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I feel like you just gotta be, respectful and go up to her and just talk to her with confidence and just have the question prepared, ready.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think a big part of it is showing some respect. I know when we're younger, we could be a little, we could have that arrogance, that cockiness.
Yeah.
We could carry ourselves in that way, in that fashion, that sometimes showing a little bit of respect, allowing the young lady to feel respected, feel wanted. Yeah. I think that's a big point towards those men, those guys, that sometimes they simply going up to her and asking her simply instead of treating her, I don't want to sound too rough, but not treating them like property, have some little respect. She's a great, good looking young lady. Yeah. Hey man, I saw you from across the room, whatever. Yeah. And I would like to take you out to eat, or I would like to take you out, on a date, or hey, I saw you dancing earlier. Hey, would you like to dance with me? Very simple.
Of course, I want to dance with you.
Very simple, very simple, man. And I've seen sometimes guys talk to a girl and then they're coming out cocky, playing hard to get, man, and kind of like.
It kind of like, in a way, it kind of like brushes you off, you too.
Yeah, they could be a little bit, I don't want to say the word like asshole, but they could be a little bit asshole-ish to the young lady. And I don't think women, appreciate that. Yeah. So, yeah. So whenever you first started dating, do you remember your first experience on going out on a date or asking a girl out?
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely, I do remember some dates. There was times where I would try to make the scenery, like romantic or like trying to just communicate with each other, just getting to know the person really. But it was always on good intentions and good vibes, just trying to see where I correlate with this person, and as far as is it a good fit, or is it, it's all about being human nature at the end of the day.
What are some of your ideas for a good date? Asking a young lady out on a date.
I feel like a lot of people, you can't go wrong with a good ice cream or good fruit.
Food.
Yeah,
Food can't never go
food,
wrong with food.
Food. You can't go wrong with
Like
food.
to eat.
Yeah, like a little sweet treat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing that for me I like to do is whenever I would ask a lady out to on a date.
Yeah.
I like to make them feel like they were wanted, or make them feel like their time was valued.
Yeah.
So I would like to go somewhere whenever there's not a lot of chaos around, places we could talk and have a great conversations. I think that's why I would not advise, these young men to go out on first date to a bar with a crazy crowd that you're shoulder by shoulder. You can't even talk to each other.
You can't even, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, the social part when it comes to communicating with your date,
Yeah.
Picking up a spot where there's peace, there's calm, there's tranquility, that you can have a great conversation and kind of, pick at each other's brains and, get to know each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, definitely, think that would be a great first date, or, date ideas for sure.
I think like one place you really can't go wrong with is like the park or like a bowling alley, somewhere where it's quiet and you can kind of see like, I want to see like, is this person into me, or is this person like sports, or what is this person like,
Well, yeah, I mean, that goes back to getting to know the person.
Yeah.
You get to know a little bit about them. You're gonna find out, are they into sports? Are they into movies? Are they into concerts or some sort of singer or whatever? And you can kind of go based off of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's also good to be in a fun environment. Environment we can let loose a little bit. Be not so tight. Have pressure. That's one thing too. Whenever I've gone to these sports events or gone to like Astros game, gone to a football game, you get that little, childhood out, and then just let yourself go and have fun. So I think those are
yourself,
great things
definitely.
too.
Be yourself.
And I know not all girls are into sports.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
then again, sometimes for a girl to get loose and have fun is go dancing.
Okay, so, salsa.
Yes, sir. So for those young men who don't know how to dance, I'd advise you start getting your little salsa class and start getting them hips going, guys.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
So the top will be having some free dance lessons coming up at the end of the summer.
Whoa.
So absolutely.
I mean, I feel like definitely, like you said, you can't go wrong with having a fun, adventurous date. Whether it's some questions involved or just getting to know the person, making sure they're comfortable, of course,
absolutely.
and also if they're engaging.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people like they go on dates and they're on their phone. They're on their, and that's
that was
thing,
actually leading me to my next question.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to like if you had any bad experiences on a date. I got a good story, but I want to hear your.
I mean, there was one time where I went to like a Wingstop with some girl, and she was like just eating the food, and she was just not paying attention to me. She was was eating. She was on her phone, and it wasn't a good experience.
She was just in it for the food, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was cool.
Mine's a little similar. We went out to eat. I actually remember. I think it was Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And same thing. For whatever reason, there was minimal engagement. Stayed on the phone the whole time. And for me, I value my time. I value my effort a lot. So I expect somebody to respect my time and effort as well, just like I'm gonna respect theirs. So if there's no engagement, they're constantly on their phone. That's a big something that rubs me the wrong way, and I would not want to do the same thing to a young lady. I wouldn't want to be on my phone the whole time and not having an engagement with her.
Yeah.
So I think that date was cut very short, and I did not see that young lady after that. I definitely cut the day short, and called it a day.
Tijera.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, and
Ponche.
and then 10 days later, that young lady reaches out to me and says, why did I, kind of cut her off? And I told her exactly why, and the truth sets me free.
The truth set you free.
Yeah, so yeah, the
There you go. I
engagement
mean,
for real.
hey, another thing is you gotta be honest, right? And I
Yeah,
think that
honestly,
goes
that's
with
a big one.
like being a gentleman. You just gotta be honest. You gotta be upfront and.
And I think women will respect you much more whenever you're honest with them. And sometimes the truth does hurt. I've had, times where I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the energy, the interaction with this person. And, I tell them straight up, hey, I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. I think, we could, just stay friends or acquaintances, and that's it.
Whoa, just
that's
friends.
it. Yeah, that friend zone card,
friend
man.
zone,
I know
friend
it
zone.
pokes people for sure. Absolutely.
Let me ask you. I mean, I remember growing up, man, and there was one time when I was with my uncle, and think I was going to like a Red Robin's or something, but there was this lady. She was walking in, and I had walked in front of her. Of course, mind you, I was like 8 years old, 7 years old, and my uncle, he pulled me to the side and he was like, hey, whenever a lady's walking, like, you stand back and open the door for her. Like, were you taught any of that?
Yeah,
like,
actually, that definitely shows being a gentleman.
Yeah.
I actually have 11-year-old son, and for the past few years as well, whenever he started growing up, I would always tell him, hey man, whenever we're going to a restaurant or somewhere, hey, go first, hold the door, and don't go in until everybody goes in, especially whenever you're with a young lady, for sure. So I think that's part of that development, as from boy to a man, knowing how to treat a lady, knowing how to be a gentleman, for sure. And another one too is, whenever you're walking on the side of the road with somebody, maybe you're going to a restaurant or whatever, I think that the man should always walk on the side of the street, and then the woman should be on the inside, for, obvious reasons, keep her safe and protected. They want to feel protected, for sure. So I think that's another one that I learned, growing up, and I'm definitely, trying to instill that message to my son as well.
Yeah.
Trying to teach him how to be a gentleman. And yes, I'm not perfect. We're still learning as we get older.
Yeah.
But I think those little things of advice could definitely, put them in a situation or put them in the direction that they could be better than us. The next generation be better than us. For sure, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of like that's slowly leaving like society. Being gentlemen, or like you don't really see that much etiquette.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of runs the world if you think about it. Like us male, there's probably a little bit more males than females. I think we should, start bringing that back into consideration, and just making that more common.
Well, you know what, like you said about society, I think about 15, 20 years ago, when we were, teenagers, early 20s. Not saying that we're super old either.
We're dinosaurs.
But the engagement with the women was different. We would have more conversations. Now everybody just on their phone, texting, and I mean, where's the engagement? Where's the communication?
Where's the interaction, huh?
Absolutely. Whatever happened to just disconnecting from social media? Social media is another big thing. I think we could use social media to our advantage, but when it comes to like those things, there's take a book from the tradition, from old traditions, and just have a simple conversation, hey, coffee or, tea, whatever it is, have simple conversation at the park, like you said. I think that's kind of slowly dying away as we've gotten older.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, man, that's a little bit of the conversation when it comes to
another question.
Being a gentleman.
I feel like we're both the oldest in our family.
Yeah.
And we both have sisters, right?
Yes.
How does that affect you as being a gentleman, or being the, I guess the older one, like how would you like somebody treating your sister, or like
when I was younger, I was very observant, very nitpicky when it comes to certain guys around, my sisters.
Yeah.
But I will say that me paying attention so much of how my sisters carry themselves, my mom and dad definitely instilled a foundation in them that they should have self-respect and value themselves and carry themselves at a high standard.
Yeah.
So as they got older, I saw my sisters make good choices for themselves. I didn't see my sisters put themselves in poor situations a lot. And me being the older brother, I will admit I made a lot of mistakes, coming up throughout my teenage years, throughout my early 20s. And I would always, advise them or try to have those little messages, hey man, don't do what I did, or hey, learn from my mistakes. I always try to do that, especially with my youngest sister. I was in college, and I would pick her up, when she was going into high school. So I was picking her
Yeah,
up,
me
and
too.
I was here, so I was always seeing those little things. And I think, like I said, and my sisters, are very smart individuals, very bright people, and they made great choices. So they avoided a lot of bad guys around them. A lot of those guys that were not gonna give them any respect. And I do feel that my sisters, made great choices. So I'm definitely proud of, who my sisters have become for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
I like that, man. Yeah,
I
definitely.
know
I
you have a
mean,
lot of younger brothers.
yeah,
That
actually,
phrase a
it's
little different.
three brothers, including me, and then one sister. So I mean, I felt like I had the same thing. Like I would drop her off, going to college or going to work, and I'll drop her off at high school, and I was just kind of have conversations with her, just have a connection, just try to make sure that everything was going good in her head, and she made the right choices, and like you said, man, slowly but surely it's paying off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how old is your sister, if you don't mind me asking? she's still
22.
22?
Yeah.
Oh, so she's a young adult now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
the reason I'm asking is because, like I said, I'm trying to figure out if there's a difference in how you see your sister, if you have a big age gap, or maybe you're close in age. Like for me, I said I think the age gap between my sisters was 2 years, 4 years. I have two younger sisters, so it wasn't extreme.
Yeah.
And now that I've gotten older, I kind of see my sisters differently. More, of course, I've always respected them,
Yeah.
but I don't see them as these little girls anymore.
Yeah.
I see them as young women now, young ladies, and that's kind of why I asked the question if it was a difference that meant anything too.
I mean,
No,
not really. I
no.
mean, I just see her like just. It's crazy how time flies. I'll tell you that. Like I remember her when she was little, and then now she's big woman.
My sister, so it was crazy. I didn't know how I was gonna take it whenever my sister got married, my youngest sister. And we, like I said, we were talking about that topic of these boys being gentlemen, knowing how to treat a lady. To be honest, like I said, it didn't rub me the wrong way at all whenever my sister got married. If anything, I knew her husband. He's a great dude. Like I said, I've known him for a while, and I think I'm very observant with the people that are around myself, my family, stuff like that, and we're very cautious with letting chaos in our family. We want to have peace. People that have a good headspace on them. So yeah, whenever my sister got married, I think everybody felt that it was the best decision for her, and she made the best choice, and it was a great ending to that wedding, and they're doing great for sure. So yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like stuff like that, when stuff like marriages or anything like that, big accomplishments, that just brings the family together and strengthens them.
Yeah, because I've seen in Hispanic households, whenever that emotion takes over, somebody might feel like, oh, they're in love or whatever, and little man, that maybe I don't want to say it so hostile, but they might have gotten stuck in a situation where they're unhappy. There's so much chaos. There's a lot of traumas. There's a lot of bad things going on in the house, and fortunately, it takes women so much courage and strength to get out of those situations because of the fact that these men mistreat them or take advantage or abuse them. So that's why us in that Hispanic household, man, we've seen a lot of cases like that, and I think I'm just blessed that my sisters aren't in that type of traumatic situation when it comes to being with a guy around them that doesn't treat them or doesn't value them.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like back in the day, like back when like grandpa's age, probably they were probably like more machistas,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, they
expected.
You think it's safe to
tasks.
say? Yeah,
they expected certain tasks.
Yeah. Do you think it's safe to say that the evolution of a woman now, they're stronger, more independent? I feel the same way too because it's a backward. When we come from El Rancho or Mexican, those ties with our Mexican culture, it was a normality for the men to go out and work and provide, and for the woman to stay home and not being allowed to do a lot of things. And that's changed a lot. And the reason I'm saying it because I see it within my eyes through my mom, through my sisters, they have their careers, they have, great jobs, and they have a, great life. And, I've seen differences in some of my extended family that it's still old traditions that a man is the head of the house, of course, but a woman should be treated like property in their eyes. Yeah. I know it's a very sticky subject.
Yeah.
So how do you see it? What do you think about our the Mexican society, the Hispanic society, when it comes to a man treating a woman?
Well, I mean, I'm not a fond upon it. I don't really like it, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes there's women that are stuck in situations and it's not the best outcome. Sometimes it ends bad, but I mean, definitely I am more appreciative of the independence of women, that they're starting to, become someone, owning their own businesses, or definitely just becoming a better someone. You see a lot of more females becoming great individuals and becoming like influencers and stuff like that for the women's society. So that's good for them, That's really good. Like they say, girl power and stuff like that. So
I get, absolutely.
Props to them.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing there when it comes to men and women is, yes, I think that the power of women is great, and that power of these women becoming independent, it's a great thing too. I love to see it when it comes to my sisters and some of those individuals out there that I know. But then again, it goes back to whenever you're creating a family, a woman is a woman, a man is a man. And I feel like the thing that is kind of misconstrued is anybody could say, I need a man or I need a woman. But how many are willing to say, I want one, I want a man or I want a woman?
Yeah.
Oh, I need one. Okay, cool. But what if I don't treat this person to the standard they should be treated? Or what if I don't value them to the standard they should be treated? I mean, they should be deserved. You gotta, elevate your expectations, your standards, that if you want somebody, you also have to not just say it, but act upon it, treat them correctly, value them. They are the woman of the house, you are the man of the house, and, try to create, a family or a team that grows together instead of always competing. Most women, instead of always feeling that you're competing, most women and men, that's what they do. You should work together and become a team and be united to create a great, foundation for your family.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's a thing where that machista or that macho mentality comes from the Hispanic households, that everybody's in competition. And I don't think it's just Hispanics. I think there's a lot of, Caucasians, a lot of, black families that they're just in competition at home and there's so much chaos.
Yeah.
But what was the whole point of getting, with somebody and creating a family?
Yeah, that's true.
Shouldn't you be united to grow together as one?
I definitely feel like you're right. Like it's more. It's always should have been like that, but now it's starting to become more like a teamwork.
Yes, teamwork makes dream work.
Yeah, teamwork makes dream work for sure.
Absolutely. So let's get into the part of the gentleman talk that we were talking about when it comes to these, young men growing up. For those watching, we're gonna put you on game real quick. What are the do's and don'ts for a young man when it comes to going on a date or treating a woman or treating their girlfriend or significant other? Just get into the do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts. The don't, you definitely don't want to not know her name. Do's, I'm gonna say probably, I definitely on the first.
Or you know what? Let me change the question, make it a little more clarity.
Yeah.
The do's and don'ts of a date from a male's perspective.
Oh,
from us. A date, yes, for us, yeah. We're talking to our young men.
I think the only thing I ask for whenever I'll go on a date is just to be listened and just to hear some feedback. Really. Besides that, I'm freaking just trying to be a male.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm saying it too is because, so let me ask a question.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, did you have those conversations with your dad when it comes to your first dates, how to treat a woman, or how to do this, how to act? Because I didn't have those conversations, if I want to be honest with you. I kind of just had to learn on the fly, man. And I think I'm in a situation where I do have a son. He's 11 years old.
Yeah.
And he's growing up, man, he's starting to like these little girls. He's starting to ask questions. His body's growing and all that stuff. And I want to prepare him to know how to treat a lady, know how to be a gentleman. And honestly, man, I love those conversations when he asks me those things when it comes to girls. Because I didn't have that growing up.
Yeah.
I had to kind of figure these things out on my own, to be honest.
That's that connection of fatherhood. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of, trying to...
You're right. I mean, I feel like a lot of us kind of had to learn on the fly, and just ask questions here and there. I guess whether it was your friends or your older cousins or something like that, you kind of had to ask them a little bit. But definitely, I feel like just be a gentleman. Like, just be there for her, hear her out, and just be that person.
And I think too, as you're growing up, sometimes it's trial by error. Just getting that experience. Not every day is gonna go great. Not everything's gonna go your way. Not every person that you meet is gonna be that person for you. Not everybody, is gonna connect, and not everybody's gonna have the same energy the one you want. But at the end of the day, if you don't have self-confidence or try to ask that girl out or to ask somebody out to dance, you're never gonna know, never gonna find out.
So, I think a lot of it has to be with be yourself. Know who you are, and then just go in there, man. Just be open to listen to that person. Just intake as much as they can, as much as they're giving out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? To make it short and sweet, don't treat others the way you don't want them to treat you. You want to be treated, with respect. Treat them with respect as well. So I think that's short and sweet to the point of how a man should, treat a woman. Treat her with respect for sure.
I personally, like, if I were to go on the first day, I'm gonna pay for the tab. Like, I think that's a must.
Yeah.
Probably, just that's pretty much it. Just
I actually felt the same way. Until I had 2 experiences throughout my 20s when I met some, great, women, great, people.
Yeah.
And I had that conversation, to be honest. Yeah. And pretty much what happened is we went out to eat, right? We went on a little date, and I was going to get the tab. She stopped me. I got it. No, wait a minute. No, I got it. I'm telling you, it wasn't that we had an argument about it, but I felt as a man, as a gentleman, it's my responsibility to pick up the tab, right?
Yeah.
So I asked her, what's the issue with me picking up the tab?
Yeah.
This is what she told me. She said, well, I don't want to be entitled to give you anything in return just because you pick up the tab. So whenever I asked her that question, she told me the explanation why. That in her past experiences, some of these men would always, want to flutter with flashy things, luxury things, food, gifts, and all that, because they were expecting something in return from her. And she doesn't want to feel obligated to feel that way, and she wants to understand that a man needs to respect her as well and not treat her like a property. And that's kind of what she told me, that some women feel, that they feel that men want to do everything in exchange for certain things of obligation.
I feel like, that's like a big thing. Like us guys, we always throw that around. Like, I'm going to pay for, I'm going to return, type. But honestly, bro, just... in that case, bro, do whatever the hell you have to do. Go pay for it in that case,
And to be honest, like I said, I understand that. But at the end of the day, I still picked up the tab. And, I was very clear, like, hey, man, I don't expect nothing in return. And even just because you had your bad experiences with other guys, other douches.
It's sad that, she had to go through that for sure.
I don't think it's right for me to be, judged that way too. But honestly, like I said, it was a great, it was a great time, and there was no bad blood at all, to be honest. Actually, we actually, ended up going out again, a few weeks later, and like I said, other than that, like I said, it was a great understanding how we left that situation.
There you go. I mean, I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, sir. But now that was just a little bit of inside of our minds of, these young men, getting some game on how to treat these young ladies, especially the promposals, them getting older, middle school, high school, the little dates that y'all want to go on for sure. So
a little tutti frutti.
So I know we're getting close to the end of this pod. We definitely, have some things in line throughout the summer. We mentioned the giveaway at the beginning of the pod.
And also more people that we want to interview throughout the summer. Definitely comment anybody that y'all feel like is a good fit that we can interview and get to know them. Just pick their brain a little bit and definitely see the kind of person they are, man.
Absolutely.
Really intrigued about that.
And before we finish off, we're definitely going to be posting in our story with our updated logo.
Oh yeah, our
logo. We got a few ideas in mind.
So
please, vote on it. Let us know what you think and give us y'all's feedback. And once again, thank y'all for supporting us and watching our episodes for sure. Every interaction, any feedback y'all get from us. We get from y'all, definitely we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thank y'all everyone that's tuning in. If y'all like the pod, please like, share, comment, send it to your tias, your tios, your uncles, your everybody. Anybody can learn from this pod, and the only way we can go to the top is if we take off.
Yes, sir. So thank y'all. Coach Aguilar, Faced by Jose. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.